Now coming in at number 16, or happens to, and that is Big Brother 13. The season now also brought back some returning players. They bring back in the kind of went for a couples thing, or a duo thing. Honestly, they brought back Rachel and Brendan, Deacon Danielle, and Jeff and Jordan. And I thought that was actually inspiring. And overall, the season was definitely great overall. If you do get a great cast of characters, not just with the returning players, honestly. In terms of the actual characters, you do get a lot of fun, entertaining, and overall great moments. Here, the whole Jay situation, the whole bonding with Jeff in general, you get a lot of interaction, and you get like really good plays here, especially with Lewan, who basically just kind of screws himself over by thinking of balance. Like, just get the other players like Dominic, Cassie, and Keith was actually memorable. Cleo was a fun presence, Portia was fun, Adam was awesome, I hope to see him at some point, and even Schneider was actually not that bad. I think the only reason why this season is honestly as low as it is on this list is pretty much the fact of that moment in Final Six where they thing when they probably Bruce again, and it's pretty obvious they're trying to get Rachel and Jordan in the house, so that's really the only one why the season is definitely at number 15, but it's still a great season around. Now at number 15 we got BB Canada 1. Started off this whole BB Canada aspect, and this is a show I wish I kind of watched too, honestly, but I'm happy I got to watch BB Canada because it is actually a great season of television, a great portion of Big Brother, honestly, if you actually think about it. And there's really a lot to love with the actual first season of the show. Again, it definitely can feel a little dated, or feel, especially when you see BB Canada now. But there's still a lot of fun and greatness to be had with BB Canada. It does have a great cast of players, and Jillian's not taking my favorite one on the show, but she was fine, honestly. I mean, Elmer was definitely great, though. Gary was hilarious. Like, I fucking love Gary's. Even the fact that he actually could have won the season, but then Topaz, for some reason, put the wrong freaking key, which is one of the most hysterical things ever. But you got a lot of great players here, like Andrew, Peter, Alec, Topaz, AJ, Suzette, Tom, who's a pretty big hothead, and you get some good blind sides here. You get some good moments in the season overall. Some pretty surprising moments, some pretty hilarious moments. Even some good fights as well, especially between Gary and Tyler, which is like, oh my god, like. But yeah, again, not really exciting that our season began to, but it's definitely overall a great season of and I would definitely recommend checking out Big Canada if getting like it is definitely worth watching. Number 14, we have Big Brother 17. A season that I actually remember not liking at first, but actually I've grown to actually oddly appreciate a lot more when I think about it. I mean, sure, you do this whole summer twist thing kind of just end up being wasted on thing, and it's weird that they never addressed it, honestly. And also the bit about the twin twist, that was kind of just revealed after that was definitely weird, and it's weird that I can't about that in the first place, but aside with that, I maybe a couple of unquestionable aspects. He's actually, I think, still a great season, especially with the gameplay and personality. The cast is definitely great overall. So I'm not sure how people see he was the winner, but he was definitely fun on the show. Definitely an unexpected winner for sure. You also get some fun people with Liz. You also got Johnny Mac, who is hilarious. Again, a shame he wasn't on Viva All Stars. And Vanessa, who I used to hate at first, but now I love. And you also, I'm thinking Austin, James, Meg, you know, some bunch of members like with Jay, Stavon, and the Penguin Show. Audrey was kind of a train wreck in the season, and even Jason was definitely a fun presence. Like, you also get some memorable fights in the season as well. And all makes a season that's definitely great and entertaining overall. Now at number 13 we have BB Canada 4. A season that I know is definitely not really well received, honestly, if you really think about it. But it's kind of the first season I actually got into BB Canada. This was something introduced me to this show. So, I still not, even though it's not really amazing television, I still honestly really thought the season was entertaining and great all the way through. And again, really the cast makes the season, honestly, and this gameplay is kind of rapid and insane and kind of weird, but that makes the season so much fun, honestly. So much fun, honestly. I do get some great players like Little Vita here, Dallas, Sherry, Mitch. I fucking love Mitch, and Raul was also a fun presence. Kelsey was a fun presence. The brothers were a great presence. Like, also got some heroes like with Tim, who who here from the Australian season. You guys all got Nikki, who's never having tantrums, and then I'm tantrums. And Joel was fun, Cassandra was fun, Jared was a real presence. Like, you get a fun of interesting, memorable personalities. The gameplay is definitely weird and all over the place, honestly, and there's a couple weird twists that happens, but overall, BP Canada 4 is definitely one of the more entertaining seasons of the show, and one I always enjoy coming back to. It also has the great fights as well. Now, at number 12, we have Big Brother 11. Yeah, that's really high on the list, but actually kind of a nostalgia, because this was also the season that actually got me into Big Brother in the first place. This was the season that introduced me to my love on this show. And I think it still holds up, honestly. Especially when you have something to do with it. It's definitely not a perfect season by any means, such as how the Blaze act. I mean, some guy freaking how the spell was weird, and some people says it was just not hard to think about, but you did get some great players all around in this season. Bronze Jeff and Jordan. I freaking love Jeff. Russell was a hilarious presence that I hope actually see us again at some point. Michelle was fun. Kevin was amazing. And that's what I was saying. And Lydia was crazy but insane. Even some pictures like Casey, Laura, and Ronnie were all great. Like, there's truly so much to really love and enjoy about this season. You think there's also fun competitions, some fun moments all around, some great interactions there, and some credible fights as well. Again, not an amazing season by any means, but definitely one I do enjoy coming back to. Again, it was the thing that got me into the show in the first place. Now, at number 11, the season that just missed my top 10, is Big Brother Canada 2. Another fantastic, this is definitely just really fantastic, but this is a truly amazing season of Big Brother. Honestly, at this point, these are probably seasons I'll probably give my highest TV rating to, honestly. I'm probably all these I watch it. All these are pretty much fantastic all around. And BB Canada 2 is no exception. It's a truly amazing season of television, especially with its amazing cast of characters and how crazy at some point. I mean, season bonus John, who's one of the most dominant and memorable winners of the show. Showing us Netta, who probably easily could have won, and she was definitely great as well. I mean, Sabrina was good, Heather was good, Adele was crazy but good, Rachel was amazing, and it does have some weird twists, but it worked all around. Even the pre-drink people are great, especially how crazy Paul gets, and got Ika, and you also got that incredible memorable Mosh, basically shreds letters from everyone's home for money, and no one even, and she didn't know that everyone was going to see it. Like, it was an interesting season filled with just craziness, but it's what makes the season so rewatchable and so much fun to watch. Now, coming in at number 10, we have Big Brother 2. Because I don't want to have Big Brother 1, they decided to change a lot of the formula of the show, and so we have Big Brother 2. I'm sure there's definitely, again, like we said about the other seasons of Survivor, it's definitely weird looking back to how Big Brother was, especially when some episodes kind of just feel slow and kind of like filler. But anyway, it's really the cast that kind of went basically and still so much fun to watch. Basically, the I talked about Kirby, who someone that proved that you don't need to win competitions to win, and he ended up winning the whole season. You know, got our great players like Nicole, Monica, Krista, Bunky, Hardy. Like, pretty much every person on this cast, and maybe some on them. And it's memorable in one way or another. Of course, this whole Justice Explosion thing that's just uncomfortable and I don't want to talk about it. You also got like Biggie as well. There are a lot of fun and amazing moments with this season, a lot of memorable aspects, a lot of great moves, a lot of great moments, and it brought us to what people love about the show and saying, and definitely not a season that's weird to look back to, but one season that I wouldn't mind if I would continue to watch the season, I would definitely come back to it. It definitely is a great, in my opinion, a great season to watch. Now, at number 9, we have Big Brother 8. As a season where basically had 3 former rivals playing on the show. Their former rivals as well, like Jessica and Carol, Justin, Joe, and Dick and Danielle. This season that brought Evil Dick and Danielle. Now, it's definitely weird when we talk about Evil Dick now, honestly, but in his hindsight, he was awesome. That's always been one of my favorite winners of the show, and he's kind of evil. I mean, it's called Evil Dick for a reason, but I could not get enough of him and his crazy fights that he had throughout the season, especially with Jen. Even though Danielle's also great as well. He also gets great in my players like Zach, and also got Eric, who I hope is going to receive a return at some point and not have him met as a player. Just got players like Amber, Jessica, Jen, who I actually kind of enjoy a little more than I actually remember, honestly. I used to not hate her so much, but now I actually enjoy her. Dustin's also good presence as well. Even some of the pre-draft members are also fun as well. Gets a great game moves, good competitions, get an emotional moment from the most emotional competition moment of the show, honestly, if I think about it. Like, that part one of the audience stuff is just heartbreaking. There's a lot of funny aspects to a lot of funny cool moments. Even though Omega's flourishing, I thought it was honestly really handled pretty well and lead to some amazing moments. All around, this is easily one of the most entertaining seasons of the show, and for the good reason. Now, coming in at number 8, we have Big Brother Over the Top. This is a digital season now, so I think around 2016, I believe. I think they're trying to test out something new, and they haven't really done this since, unfortunately, which I thought worked, because it was actually an original idea. I think honestly pretty much worth it, honestly. I think it's quite interesting how guys move one at a time and all that stuff, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. They also got former house captain Jason returning as well. And you can see that it's filled with an amazing cast of players that unfortunately we might not see return, honestly, especially Morgan, Alex, and Shelby, who are amazing players, fun personalities, and just awesome characters. Especially Shelby, who had me cracking the fuck up in every single scene she was in. Like, she was hilarious from beginning to end. Like, oh my friggin' god, she was hysterical. Even some players great. Jason was definitely good. Christy was great. Justin, like, you do have some incredibly memorable, fun, and great people on the season. You get some fun gameplay aspects, get some fun competition moments, and you get a worthy winner in Morgan. So overall, again, I know that's just highly entertaining all around. And I kind of hope they actually go through this format. So I would also love to see more of Big Brother in this type of format. It honestly would be great. Would be great to see, honestly. Now at number 7, we have Big Brother Canada 3. BB Can 3. This has some of the most fun and entertaining gameplay in. It also has some of the most memorable players in the show. Like, of course, you got, I remember one in Sarah. You also got a great player in Godfrey, who was hilarious. Ashley and Brittany was also great as well. Pilar was also fantastic as well. Bruno was hilarious, especially with the types of Sarah that were just crazy. And also got the triple eviction thing, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. Another interesting idea online. You get some pretty weird, crazy moments, but the one season on was so unique on thing. It's got Sydney, who was pretty much a train wreck from beginning to end. That amazing joint blindside. That's probably one of the best blinders in the show's history, but being honest, I'm pretty sure I'm doing this there. You also got an incredible member player, Kevin. This was my favorite player of the show, and I'll get more into him later. You get some fun relationships, fun friendships, great moments, funny, hilarious dialogues, and great eviction moments. There was just so much to really adore and browse in BB Can 3. Coming in at number 6, we have BB20. A season that really rejuvenated my love for the show. A season that reminded me so much why I love watching the show again. This was after BB19, which I guess my least favorite, honestly, but this was a season that really rejuvenated my love for Big Brother. This was pretty much why I love Big Brother in the first place, and it really shows, and it is a fantastic season, especially the pre-jury portion, which is possibly might be my favorite pre-jury portion. Probably any season of the show, honestly. I didn't think about that, but it's definitely up there. Like, filled with blindsides, memorable moments, great players, great aspects. Like, you got a great cast here for incredible memorable players. I mean, this season there's Tyler, which, even despite what happened in BB22, I still love him as a player. He's still one of my favorites. You know, I still think he should win, even though I think Casey's also great as well. And his relationship with Angela, that was great. Samantha was fucking hysterical. Brett was someone I probably shouldn't have enjoyed as much as I did, but I ended up fucking loving him. And then people like Haley, Scotty, Bailey, Rockstar, and even some of the pre-show members like Steve, Swaggy, Caitlyn, and even Rachel and Winston are also very memorable players. Like, there's a lot of great players to really adore in this season. There's a lot to really enjoy about this season of the show, honestly. I mean, sure, it can get kind of predictable later on after the pre-jury portion, but again, the cast and a lot of the moments that still happen pretty much still make the season so much fun to watch, and I always enjoy looking back to even some of the twists I did in mine, honestly. And definitely kind of about it, honestly, but I still don't mind them, honestly. But yeah, BB20, my opinion, fantastic. Now we're already in top 5, man, and trust me, I'm from all this portion then, so that's crazy, but Yet coming in number 5 is Big Brother 14. I've always had these at number 2, honestly, so it did kind of drop a few spots, but I still think 14 is honestly a fantastic season. I mean, you got coaches returning, like, got Mike Berge, Janelle returning, also got Dan Giesling and Brittany coming back. And you also got a member cast overall with people like Ian, Danielle, Jen, Shane, Joe, Frank. Yeah, I used to not like Frank honestly this season, but I actually enjoyed him more honestly the more I think about it. His next season would be not really, but I did enjoy him here. And it's kind of much of Mike Berge as well. I mean, other people like Kara, JoJo, and even Will, I thought were actually pretty memorable players. You get some fun gameplay moments, and even, of course, one of the best moves in Just History with the whole Dan's funeral, which is probably my favorite move in Just History, honestly, because like, this season pretty much, people always love Dan, but I think this season pretty much dismantling him as one big brother greats, honestly. Like, the guy's memorable for a freaking reason. Like, the reason why people still love the guy to this very day. Because from 5, and you have the whole Russell Hands' brother Willie situation that occurs, like, even the coach that was actually a fun presence throughout. There's so much fun and creativity that happens in this season that all makes it so much fun watching. I'm not sure why it ended up dropping in the fun, honestly, but I still think it's a fantastic season all around. Now, at number 4, we have Big Brother 12. I fucking adore this season. This season is still amazing to watch. Like, literally every cast member in this season is truly memorable and fantastic. Of course, you got the whole Bulgarian alliance that no one knew about, which is definitely one of the most dominant alliances now. One of the most memorable alliance in the show's history, and for good reason. I mean, Hayden, Lane, Enzo, Matt, all fantastic characters, especially Enzo. You guys got great players with Brittany as well. Reagan was also great, especially with how he said about Rachel. Like, oh my god. Kathy was a good president. Even some pretty drums like Andrew, Kristen, and Annie were also great. Stafford Twist was honestly a pretty fun thing for the show as well. And Brett and Rachel, I mean, Brett was great, but Rachel I've always been so mixed on, honestly. But honestly, I definitely love her fights on the show, especially the one she has with Kristen. That's easily one of the best fights, one of the best moments in the show's history. So, she's always been mixed back to me. Ones I liked her, a lot of I didn't. But what I did, honestly, it's such an amazing race. But there's so much fun elements to seeing. And it is kind of a very predictable season, but at the same time, it's still enticing, it's still engaging, and a lot of it's due to the cast members, a lot of it's due to what happens, so it's still a fun season to watch, and that's definitely what makes it still one of the best in the show's history, in my opinion. Now, at number 3, again, the number stretch. At number 3, we have Big Brother All-Stars. All-Stars. And one reason why people thought the last season was disappointing is because they didn't live with the success of the first All-Stars. Again, last year was the first All-Star season in 14 freaking years. And yeah, All-Stars is easily still one of the best seasons of the entire show. A lot of it's starting to Chilltown and Mike Berge and Will. Like, they pretty much make the season so amazing. And, I mean, honestly, for the good reason, they both are incredibly memorable and fantastic players, especially with the diamond features they have that are so hilarious, and all the moves they made for the season now just so amazing. And if Janelle didn't end up staying for it, they could have easily just made it to the end, and Will could obviously won the season again, but at least my opinion won, honestly, so being honest, this one proves that Janelle really is one of the, probably still the best compies in the show's history, at least on this season. Like, Jesus, Janelle, she truly is a god beast. But still memorable as well, as racing a lot of these players to return again, especially Kaser, Marcellus, James, Chicken George, who was hilarious, Danielle, Erica. You get some awkward moments here, especially with Janelle blindsiding Will and voting him out. There's still so much fun and greatness to this season. It's hilarious, fun, great, and just flat out awesome. Yeah, you can get some great competition modes as well. There's a lot of funness to be had in this season, and still one of the most memorable seasons of the show. Now, at number 2, we have Big Brother Canada 5. This is truly Big Brother Canada as absolute prime. This would be a fans' favorite season where they have house guests compete with returning players, like one season, like in the previous 4 seasons, and that's one of the best because the guns are good, and honestly. And you think it's a favorite season that the fans will probably be out right away. But no, like 3 or 4 favorites are pretty much out in like the first 5-6 weeks, which is pretty surprising. And some games get like in a row, like like in the final 8, there were pretty much just 2 between players left. So it's usually you don't really see it often. Like some of the fans actually dominate. But there's definitely a lot of funness in terms of the favorites as well. And even the fans were great, especially Dimitri, who that was a good presence, Karen, her craziness, Jackie, William, Emily, Dylan, great players. Some players too. We got Ika. That moment that I mentioned in the Canada portion kind of made it great, but that moment pretty much cemented her as an all-time favorite player, honestly. Once Bruno was great, and even to the players that they were still we had some fun, great process of the season. But then you got Kevin, who, from his gameplay alone, is why this season is at number 2 on this list. Like, season still has great fights, some great moments, some great gameplay moments, some great blindsides, especially with the whole with the whole Neta eviction. That's easily probably the most memorable eviction in the Big Brother history. But Kevin's gameplay is mind-blowing. His gameplay is just amazing from beginning to end. And he's probably the only one, in terms of all the winners of the entirety of Big Brother, he's the one I overall felt the most happy and satisfied with winning. He's the one I actually felt the most satisfied and the most happy with who won. And he's awesome, like he's probably the most deserving winner of the entire show. He fought hard to win, and he did. He wanted to make mistakes the past season, and he did. He wanted to make most bonds, he wanted to try to make it to the end and all that, and he did. And he 1,000,000% deserved it. I mean, he didn't have much competition, but he still deserved it. Like, if he didn't win, the season probably wouldn't be as high, but that win, his gameplay is definitely one of them too, even if the season is filled with so many memorable moments and so many amazing aspects. Truly a season to remember. But coming in number 1 is BB10. I think I mentioned it on my favorite season on my best moments list, but yeah, this is my favorite season of the show, and so I'm trying to, like, this is probably what everyone thinks is probably the favorite season of the show, but honestly, for some reason, honestly, this season, like, my number 1 of these type of shows, every season of a show, the only thing that honestly reminds me why I love the show in the first place, and when I try to remember why I love and why I was into Big Brother in the first place, I would go to BB10. This reason that reminds me, every time I'm kind of lost my interest in Big Brother, this is that reminds me why I adore the show. It could be from the cast, like some of the competitions, gameplay, and some of the craziness that happens, like, and some of the fights that happen, and some of the dynamic personalities. This is one that reminds me of why I absolutely adore Big Brother. But you get some incredible players here in Memphis. He kind of went to in BB22. Keisha and her birthday fight was kind of like the most memorable fight in the show's history. Like, Jesus. Even started up here, but like, even, again, I'm playing where every kind of member. You got Brian, basically has one of the biggest just disasters in terms of someone that's doing well, but kind of just on himself. Steven was good, Angie was great, Jesse was hilarious, Libra was, oh my god, hilarious, April was great, Michelle was a firecracker, but a great firecracker, Ollie was cool, Rennie was hilarious, like, why has been come back, seriously, like, just why has been come back, Keisha was amazing, Jerry was fucking awesome, Memphis was definitely great, and of course you got Dan Giesling, who again, deserved to win his season, and rightfully so. Big Brother 14 cemented him as a true all-time BB legend, but even then his first season was definitely great, especially with the whole Michelle backdoor day, which was awesome. Like, so much amazing moments in this season, and all that explains why, personally for me, Big Brother 10 is my personal favorite season of Big Brother. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed me do my ranking of all 32 seasons of Big Brother. Honestly, didn't think of doing this, honestly, then I just thought about it to watch a couple of rankings, so as I do it, so anyways, let me know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts, what are your favorite seasons of Big Brother, what season of the show do you love the most, or do you hate the most? I would love to know down below. I'll still be doing a lot more Big Brother content, and I will eventually have a overall top 20 Big Brother contestants list out. I'll have some point like, oh, this year, maybe next year, we'll see, but I will eventually have a best players on the show at some point to be like that. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly, honestly appreciate it. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, be sure to share, be sure to subscribe, be sure to follow all my social media sites on the description down below. I am saying welcome to all the views. I will see you next time, as always, stay cooler, but peace.